Well, we're at an auto race where a hockey game is broken out, folks. This is right down in pit lane where it started with Sam Hornish and Tony Kanaan, and now there's fists flying everywhere. Members from Team Penske, Andretti Green. Vince, are you in that mess?
Well, guys, what happened was immediately after the race, Sam Hornish jumped out of his car, went and confronted Tony Kanaan, and at that point, parties from both sides started coming to the defense of their own. And that included the father of Sam Hornish Jr., who actually pushed Tony Kanaan, and then Tony Kanaan's supporters came in, and before you knew it, Sam Hornish Jr.'s father was on the ground scuffling with one of TK's and one of the Andretti Green's people.
All right, that's Dan Weldon with Tony Kanaan. They are very good friends, former teammates. This is what it was a little bit earlier. This is the replay, and there is the shove by Sam Hornish Sr., and that's when everything started to break out. Michael Andretti gets involved in it. There is Marco trying to get his dad out of the way, playing peacemaker, and here's where it really erupts into an all-out shoving match. Security from the Indy Racing League steps in, and some of the Penske crew members then get involved. There's Tony Kanaan now sitting on the fence trying to catch his breath, and there in all of it is our race winner. Doesn't know what he's missed down in victory lane. The battle has been out in pit lane. Now this was what happened very early in the race. I mean, guys have long memories in race cars.
You know, but there's got to be a lot more to this than what we saw, because in this situation here, this is where you're going there. You're going for the same piece of pavement, actually, and this is actually after the race itself. They're both going into the pit lane, and here comes Tony Kanaan chopping off Sam Hornish. So I think that's why Sam was so mad, because the checkered flag is flown, and here comes Sam getting out of his car right now. You can tell he's in a hurry. He's just pulling off the cords and everything like that, walking over to Tony, and rightly so, saying, hey, what's that all about? The checkered flag is over. I don't understand what's going on here. And obviously Sam's dad comes in here and says, okay, let's just cool off now. And then it just continues to escalate. And this sort of reminds me of what we used to have in go-karts, Marty. It just never seems like it gets this way in big cars.
Well, it did today, as let's check in with Vince Welch.
Well, Tony Kanaan has been watching that replay, as guys, just as you are watching it. And TK, what was going on? First of all, take us back to the incident on the track when the two of you had contact. What transpired?
Well, I got to ask him. He hit me. I think when you hit somebody from behind, and I wasn't very happy, and I got out of the car to talk to him. And I think he needs his dad to defend himself all the time, and his dad bumped me, which I think is totally wrong. It's happened in the track. We need to sort it out between me and him, and if we can't sort it out, Brian Barton has to sort it out. His dad can't get in the way and bump me out of the way like that. We're not going to fight. I was not going to go punch him. We were obviously both hot, and we're talking about what happened, and I think they should let us talk about it. And his dad getting in the way and bumps me out of the way. I mean, that's why dads, they should be in the grandstands, not in the pits.
Let's go to Brian Pettigo.
Well, Sam, it was your best road course finish ever, but unfortunately got overshadowed a bit by what just happened. Walk us through this.
You know, I guess I'll start back to the incident on the track. You know, Tony and I, you know, I got a run on him going down to the turn 6, and you know, he just didn't give me room, ran me up on the curb, and basically, you know, there was nowhere to go there, and you know, I couldn't get out of it, and obviously we bumped a little bit. Neither one of us spun. You know, he ended up finishing 4th in, and then he runs into me coming into the pits, and you know, starts calling me every name under the sun. But you know, whatever. That's you know, he wants to talk about what a great sport he is, and he is if one of his teammates wins. But if anybody else does better than he does, he's not very good. And I'm not really that worried about it from my point of view. I'm in the car, but you start running into people coming into pit lane, you take the chance of jeopardizing all these guys' safety that are, you know, over the wall. They're not paying attention to what's going on. The race is over. They don't think there's going to be anything going on. So it's just an unfortunate deal.
Kind of mixed feelings for you, Michael, because you got the points lead. I watched as you kind of talked your son through this race, getting the monkey off of his back. And then all of a sudden, sheer bedlam after the race. You don't look any the worse for wear, though.
No, I mean, you know, hey, you know, it's emotions. You know, a lot going on here, a lot at stake, and you know, it's no big deal. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, not too bad, and so, you know, what can you say? You know, unfortunately, Dario's pit stops weren't quite what we should have had, because that was the difference. But
so what do you do there? Because I know that you've kind of gone through and different folks working on you know, on the rear tires. What's the next step?
just keep working on it. You know, keep practicing the guys and stuff, and you know, we'll be all right. I think Dario did exactly what he needed to do today. Kept Dixon in sight, so that's all he's got to do the rest of the year, and he'll be okay.
I noticed that when the fracas broke out, it was your son that came and got you. What did he say to you?
He just said, you know, you're better than that, just get away. You know, I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm just, you know, protecting my driver too, so, you know, Tony, so I do that.
All right, fellas.